charge of quarterbacking the president's defense against possible articles?
Well, quarterbacks aren't on defense, they're on offense. But, so, is that what you mean? Who's on offense or who's on defense?
Who is in charge of the defense?
Unless you said cornerback. I may have misunderstood you. Cornerbacks are on defense.
You know exactly what I meant. Who's in charge?
And you know the answer, the president. And we have many people working on that, but we have overstuffed portfolios here to begin with, working on the business of America, which does not include impeachment. I'm sure you've seen the polls, New York Times, Siena poll in these swing states where there's not an appetite, a majority appetite to impeach and remove the president. I assume the Democrats are lying to their constituents. They said they were coming here to reduce drug prices and get some infrastructure going and help in Syria, but they're not. They're trying to investigate and impeach the president. They'll need to go home and answer for that. Meanwhile, we're very busy here doing those things. It's a combination of press and comms, I'm sure, the legal team, other people involved, but the president has been quite transparent in his daily explanation of what he thinks of the entire process and the substance.
It doesn't seem like there's any urgency to have any one person in charge of the entire response. And I mean, I hate to bring it up, you know, the adage that a person who's representing themselves has a fool for a client, although the president's not a lawyer, but I mean, wouldn't it be...
And neither are you. I'm not really sure what you're talking about, respectfully, but we have an entire team of people. The fact that you expect us to come outside every day and give you a window seat into the inner workings of everything we do here, that's not going to happen. But this whole idea, because you like palace intrigue stories, you want to know which one person is doing which one thing. Why is that?
Because so far the president has said that...
Well, so far the president hasn't been impeached, and I think it's simple math. If you have 218 votes and you have 67 votes in the Senate... No, the president's done plenty. You don't know what he's doing inside on this.
Kellyanne, let me ask you two questions. One non-impeachment related, one impeachment related. Let me start there. Do you believe at this point, given yesterday's vote, is impeachment inevitable, do you think?
Well, it certainly is possible. If Nancy Pelosi has 218 votes, she has more Democrats than 218. It really depends on how those 31 Democrats in those districts where they won and Trump-Pence won, if they're going to go home and say, I haven't done the following things I promised I do, but I did impeach the president, they're welcome to do that. But remember, too, she has said herself, we don't know that we're going to impeach the president. Steny Hoyer, confused, but let me clarify, he was confused about, he said he didn't know what an impeachment resolution was. I saw another Democrat today saying, we don't know if the votes are there. They know the votes are not there in the Senate. So if you're going to impeach the president, are you going to remove him? Unlikely. But I'm prepared for the president to be impeached. I'm prepared for the votes to not go that way, depending on what the evidence says. But we live in a democracy, Hallie, that is centered on the rule of law. And I would hope that we're going to have a process that we haven't had so far, which is out in the open, where the person being, quote, accused, or the person playing defense, in this case, is allowed to challenge witnesses and challenge evidence and present evidence and witnesses of his own. We haven't had that. All we've had is quite a secretive process and then selective leaks and disparaging lies, including coming from the mouth of the chairman of the Intel Committee himself. He should not be permitted to come outside and tell you what he thinks just happened the way he did the other day. It's not his job to tell everybody what he has concluded based on limited testimony and based on a process that's been in the dark. I mean, the one time I personally could have benefited from having Adam Schiff near a camera has been the last couple of weeks when he's had witnesses before him, certainly not the last couple of years when he's been lying about collusion and conspiracies and impeachment that hasn't happened.